first off, I'm a veteran, and my local veterans office did not have the capacity or the capability to take care of my cancer needs. So they outsourced me to Ruby Memorial. I was diagnosed with stage 4 triple negative metastatic breast cancer in June of 2020 by my oncologist at Ruby Memorial Cancer Center in Morgantown, Dr. Salkini. He said that it was one of the worst cases, most aggressive cases of cancer he has ever seen. And he was pretty emotional about it. He was really nice. He just fell short on giving me proper care. But you could tell that he was really nervous about giving me a time frame, because you hear stage 4 terminal. I want to hear how bad is it, how long do I have, give me some kind of clue. So he didn't want to do it. So being a veteran, I'm not having that good of care with my Veterans Administration. So with them outsourcing me, I requested, and every party agreed, to keep my regular care separate from my cancer care, so that the doctors, because I have a traumatic brain injury. So for me, and with it being 2020, right smack dab at the beginning of COVID, I couldn't take anybody in with me to communicate and help me communicate. And so separating everything was better for me, and everybody agreed. Okay, Ruby agreed to keep cancer up there. My regular care doctor agreed to keep it in Pittsburgh, or wherever the hell I was. Anyway, so since Dr. Salkini, my oncologist, didn't want to give me any kind of time frame, I did ask my regular doctor with the VA. I said, I know you've taken a look at my medical file, if anything, just for shits and giggles, you took a look at it, what's going on. Can you give me your personal opinion? I'm asking for your personal opinion of a time frame. What do you think? And at first she was hesitant, but she saw that I really needed to hear something. So she said, yeah, she did take a look at it, and she gave me a year. Okay, so obviously I'm pretty upset about that. When she told me that she gave me a year, she looked at me like shock value. So I don't know whether she thought she was going to get in trouble for breaking HIPAA, because it wasn't breaking HIPAA. I asked her personal opinion, and it wasn't even breaking HIPAA. She's talking to me, but because I don't know. I have a brain injury. I can't rationalize why she did what she's about to do. She contacted my palliative doctor, Dr. Mupamambe, and told him, and I can quote this, that my pain did not stem from my cancer, but my accident that I had in 2011. So any kind of comfort medication that they were currently giving me needed to stop. I'm terminal, suffering stage 4 cancer. So it's vindictive. Anyway, so they didn't even question it. Did not even question it. Didn't come to me. They just stopped. It stopped. So I was made to do everything on only Tylenol, chemo, the double mastectomy, radiation, everything was only Tylenol. Okay, so naturally, with my brain injury, on top of COVID, I can't have anybody communicating with me, to go with me, to help me, and I just had my world turned upside down. I'm emotional. I'm irrational. I'm trying to get somebody to listen to me. I have to give you a little bit of backstory on that. I'm sorry. When the accident happened in 2011, and gave me my brain injury, I broke a lot of my body. I shouldn't have survived. And I'm going to be in constant pain for the rest of my life. When the opioid epidemic happened in the United States, everybody was hell-bent on saying that West Virginians started the epidemic, started the addiction, started the whatever with opioids. Okay. So in turn, in 2018, the Veterans Administration took all of their veterans, they reviewed files and everything, took all their veterans off opioids that they could. So when they took me off, I was in excruciating pain. I still am and will be. So when they took me off, I went to a family gathering and somebody offered me a joint. So they red flagged my medical file over a joint. Because being a veteran, you're not allowed to do that stuff. It helped my pain. Was it worth it? Yes. No, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. Anyway, so that's the only kind of anything that I've ever had was that one little red flag over that joint. Okay, so when she reached out to my palliative care, my oncology team, and said that, and it was like a direct hit to my character, because that's a very personal topic for me, addicts and drugs in general. And anyway, I'm getting off topic. So my care was hindered by that allegation. They didn't want to hear me. I was the patient. It was my oncologist stopped communicating with me because now I was overly irrational, overly emotional. I didn't want to, my oncologist, Dr. Salkini, because of the whole communication barrier, he would call my husband later after the visit, because nobody could go with me, so that he could talk about everything that we went over, which was awesome of him to do. I remember one time he talked with my husband over the phone for over an hour about the severity of my stage 4 cancer, how aggressive it grew, because it started out no bigger than just the tip of your fingertip, no bigger than that big. 3 months time, it was as big as your fist. And so naturally, I'm pretty damn scared. My husband's scared. You just told her that, you're dying. So he called and talked to him for over an hour about it, and, get your wife's affairs in order, blah, blah, blah. Somewhere along the line, because of the miscommunication or allegation or whatever that she did, and then they didn't want to communicate with me anymore, my cancer care went down the toilet. During my chemo, obviously, again, nobody's allowed to be down there with you, but that's where the majority of the communication on a weekly basis happens between the oncologist and the patient. They do like a couple minute recap, and you go to town. You just get things done. So again, I put in the request because of my brain injury to have somebody come in, and because of COVID, the exception or whatnot, to have somebody come in and sit with me. It was denied. But I got really upset about that, because the elderly lady, and I understand she was elderly, but my brain injury is pretty severe. And it would have been nice, why does she get to get her daughter set with her when and nobody can tell me why. That's neither here nor there. But then with Salkini, he quit communicating with me after so long of me being the irrational one. He told me because of the brain injury, he dumbed things down, which I told him to. I was like, you have to talk to me like I'm a little child for me to understand precisely what you're talking about. I need you to dumb things down. You're not going to offend me. Go ahead. So he told me my type of cancer, there is a mandatory, necessary, whatever medication that you take afterwards, after you get, whatever, that will work as a shield to keep, because I'm metastatic, that will keep the cancer from coming back as fast or at all. Okay. And because of all this crap, he quit communicating with me. He never prescribed me the medication. I was in to remove more cancer last week. When all of everything went down and I switched my care to a new oncologist, I explained the medication to him, and he said that unfortunately the time has passed and that medication would no longer work. I was a really large-breasted woman. I am a booby girl. Yes, ma'am. Beyond the medication to keep that at bay, because they were making me go through everything on only Tylenol, I wasn't going to have the surgery. No way in hell were they going to cut off. I was a size 38 double F. That's bigger than your head, child. I was a large-breasted woman. There was no way I was about to let them cut all that tissue off and send me home on only Tylenol. No way. I'm a strong woman, but I'm not that strong. I would have never had the surgery. And I voiced my concern. I'm a very blunt and very honest person, and I have to apologize for that more often than not. But I did it. My surgeon called me 3 days before the surgery, 3 days, to tell me that I had her on speakerphone. My daughters and my husband were there. When she called, she said, Dr. Lupinesi, she says, Mrs. Snodderly, I know that you've had worries about being sent home with nothing for your pain. And rest assured, I will guarantee you will be sent home with some kind of comfort medication. Okay. I was so relieved. I couldn't breathe. I dropped to the floor on my knees. All of my bitching, regardless of whether it was last minute or not, somebody had heard me. Somebody heard me. I finally mattered. Somebody heard me. But my husband gathered me up and got everything and calmed me down, and I was able to breathe, and I thanked her. Thank God. Thank you. Thank you. So I went and I had the surgery October 23rd, 2020. They treated me well while I was in the hospital. They did. And then it was time to go home. And Dr. Lupinesi, my surgeon, hadn't come in at all to see me, hadn't checked on me at all, I'm ready to go home. Where's she at? She's supposed to prescribe me something for my pain. They brought me a phone. I guess they had called her at home. She had not come in. I asked her, I said, Dr. Lupinesi, you called me directly at home. You promised me that you would not do this to me. You promised me that I would be sent home. I wouldn't have to do this on only Tylenol. You promised me. And her only words were, I have no idea what you're talking about. I mean, that's a whole separate kind of pain, to be sent home on only Tylenol. And because of the large breast, I had the tubes in longer than the average person. And I was upset after I went back to the hospital, and I was like, what the hell is going on? I did see Dr. Lupinesi again, and at that time, I wasn't crying in horrible pain. I was managing it. I could manage it a whole lot better if you would cooperate with me and help me manage the pain, instead of making me do it on only Tylenol, which will extend my healing process, because I can't have anything for the pain over a joint. do you hear that? But it didn't matter, because everybody they would listen to me, because again, I was the emotional, irrational one. So, and that they played on my brain injury. They discriminated against me. They refused to communicate with me. I've been trying to get somebody from the hospital to communicate with me for the past, I had my surgery in October of 2020. It is now, I have no idea what day it is. Almost August of 2023. Is that right? No, almost September. Finally got somebody from their executive offices to talk to me, sort of. I had to beg somebody from their advocate office explained what happened. I was like, I need somebody just take this paperwork over there and drop it on somebody's desk, make them accept it, hand it over to somebody, make somebody listen to me. She promised that if I wrote everything up in a letter and emailed it to her, or no, I mailed it to her. I mailed it to her. I think I have a brain injury. I don't know what I did. I did one or the other. I communicated somehow with her. She took it, and I'm pretty sure it was physical. She took it up to the executive offices there at Ruby Memorial, and I got a response back from, finally, litigation from their office, from a Mr. Joshua Boggs. The amount that I was asking for, he didn't deny any wrongdoing by the surgeon by lying to me. He didn't deny any neglect by being misdiagnosed. I'm not terminal, yay, but nobody has the balls to tell me that. Because I'm the emotional, irrational one. What will she do? I'd like to know. But because of the brain injury, nobody will communicate with me. And they've got me pegged as some kind of drug addict. They've never abused drugs in my life, and I'm not going to, just because I'm dying, or just because they make me feel this way. I'm not going to. But anyway, I can't. It's 2023, and he says in the beginning of this year is when I got my first response from Mr. Boggs. He said that the amount that I was asking for compensation, a total, was over the state allotted amount given for the situation that I'm talking about. So because it was over the state allotted amount, he was considering the matter closed. Good day. I have a brain injury. There's no way this man is being an asshole like this. There's no way. There is no way. So I'm like, okay, all right. So I email him, and I'm like, I say precisely that, because I'm blunt and I'm honest, and I say precisely that. I say, I have a brain injury, so I'm kind of confused. You're not telling me that you're going to sweep me underneath the rug simply because I'm asking for too much money to cover the mistakes of your staff and your surgeons. That's not at all what you're saying. Obviously, that's sarcasm, but Mr. Boggs needed some help in that area. He comes back and he says, Mrs. Snodderly, unless you have another issue about another matter, this issue is now considered closed, and we don't expect to hear back from you. That was the beginning of this year. Well, I've got more cancer cut out last week because of their neglect. You don't see any kind of reconstruction. I've been to 2 reconstructive doctors that say there's just simply too much damage done. And the last one said that he could try to clean it up. I would love to show your camera my chest, but I don't even know if that's freaking, what is that, indecent exposure? Anyway, the last one said he could clean me up, but the amount of pain that I'm going to be in now because of the damage that's done is going to be probably doubled or tripled if he cleans me up. The amount he's going to have to. I was like, well, hold up. Let's just hold up on that. So no breasts. And I'm getting more cancer cut out. And the only thing that I can think of is, how dare they do this to any woman and then try to sweep her under the rug, let alone me, because I'm the obnoxious, irrational, emotional, honest, blunt bitch. So why on earth would you do something like this to me? Because you're just setting yourself up for trouble. I've been recently my husband and I had our 17-year anniversary. Yay, 17 years. Wonderful man. I'm married to my best friend. So hot. Even after 17 years, so hot. But I'm not anymore. They have changed my life so much. Even from only the when they tried to attack my character by accusing me of being a drug addict, every step of the way it's been negative hit after disappointment, after neglect, after a HIPAA violation, and they don't want to acknowledge anything because it's so damn bad that the amount that I'm asking for is over the state allotted amount. And come on, that's funny. Come on, you know you want to giggle. All right, so I'm getting pissed. So I contact the advocate office again. Again, no response. Nothing. And I do this for about 2 months before I just start talking to the first person that answers. Okay. And again, she tells me, she says, you don't have to type everything up like you did the first time, but recap it for me, send it to me. I'll take it to the appropriate offices. Okay. She did that. I'm waiting. I get the cancer cut out last week. I'm waiting. So, I have things that I have that I don't want to have to do to make, I've been trying to make the world pay attention to my little situation here. And nobody will. And why would they when even the hospital won't? And that's a drastic change for any person. I feel like I've lost not one limb but 2 limbs. It's, I don't want to say that I was my breast, because I know I wasn't, but it was a big part of me. And for them to give me such crappy care and then treat me like this and ignore me, and I can't even I have to look at this for the rest of my life, no matter how long or short that is, because I don't know. Nobody can answer me what stage cancer I am from their offices, at least, because I want an answer from their office. They just want to ignore me anyway. So I finally got a letter back, or an answer back from Mr. Boggs this morning. He says that he has told me before that unless it is a new situation, I should not be contacting him or his offices or his advocates. And if I continue to do so, he will file harassment charges. I can't afford a lawyer. And all these lawyers around here they forget about it. I made the mistake of telling everybody that I was a veteran in my story. Nobody wants to, no, the Veterans Administration is involved. No, forget about it. No. So unless I get, I don't know. So anyway, I told him, in my very last email to this man, I said, Mr. Boggs, if it's a matter of money, if my little situation is going to break the bank for Ruby Memorial, with the neglect of care, the lying to, the every little situation that was done to me by your hospital and your staff, I don't know my end date. I don't know what's going on, because I was misdiagnosed by your oncologist. The only thing that I want, if I'm asking for too much, is to simply buy a little piece of land and a little house for my husband and my kids to have when I die, is exactly how I worded it. I don't care about money. I just want to make sure that they're going to be okay. And I don't think I'm going to get the resolution that I want. I think at this point I would like an apology. And I think that's it. I think that's all they're going to give me. And I don't think they're going to give me that, because that would be acknowledging that they did something wrong. But I can't. The only other thing that I have in my pocket is to go and just show the world my chest and what they did to me right out in the open outside of Ruby Memorial. Just, there you go, world. Don't go in here. Look what they did. I don't know what else to do. I'm hoping that this will get somebody's attention, but hopefully somebody else's besides Mr. Boggs. He's just, there's no compassion. Humanity has lost its humanity. Back in the day, this would have never happened. When I was a kid, if this would have happened, holy hell, the world would have been in an uproar. And now I don't know if it's happened to me because of COVID. It happened during COVID that everybody wants to ignore me. I don't know, but everybody is, and it's not. I want to be heard. It's not fair what they did to me.